A girl's text announces their relationship is now over. And just like that, our protagonist begins to weep. He's in total shock, praying this is all just a bad joke. He tells himself she can't be serious. After all, he pictured their entire future together. He was even considering proposing marriage soon. But instead, he's blocked, left to crumble alone in his chair. A buddy was about to call him for a game, but discovers our hero completely unconscious. His friend tries to intervene, but he just flees. The door slams shut. His friends are furious. He can't hold a romance. Chun-won is known as the ultimate simp. He endlessly chases after women, showering them with money, but getting nothing. He is enraged that after 3 long years, he had nothing to show with Chu-tong. The scene flashes back to their talk as a crowd gathers. Our hero begs for another chance, offering a plush toy. It was her favorite animal. The crowd whispers that he worked 4 jobs for her sake. Chu-tong claims that nothing is truly wrong, but after some careful consideration, she decided she wanted to reunite with her ex. The protagonist knows her ex well and calls him a scumbag. He reminds her of the truth. That man cheated on her, then left her while pregnant. Suddenly, a luxury car appears, and a man beckons her. Chu-tong's ex dislikes their chat and speeds her away. She cruelly claims this outcome is better at the store. Our protagonist is utterly shattered. As a simp, he believes he's doomed to fail in love. But then a system manifests, displaying his data as Chun-yuan. It lists 230 coins and assets and a single strength point. But then it reveals another unbelievable line of info. He has 90 billion coins designated for being a simp. He's baffled by what is unfolding. A girl appears, asking him if he's feeling unwell, because he was staring directly at her chest. Our hero looks at her as the system scans her vitals. The interface reveals her name is Su Lil. She is 21 years old and stands at 165 centimeters tall, weighs 49 kilos, and scores nearly an 8 in looks. Her favorability toward our hero is a chilling -50. The system then relays a critical rule. If a target's favorability score reaches 95 points, she can become his devoted bootlicker. The protagonist is completely lost. Must he really use the 90 billion from the system on women? The system confirms the 90 billion coins are now spendable, and that the full amount is on his bank card. It also specifies the funds only work on women. And once he hits 95 favorability points, he gets 1/10 of the cash back, plus other rewards. Now certain, the protagonist invites Su Lil for a meal. He boldly claims he will cover everything. The system confirms the target is set. He can spend freely. When he reaches 95 favorability with any girl, he is also granted 5 points as a bonus. These points to be used to improve his own stats. The girl stares him down, asking if he's trying to flex. Su Lil isn't sure if he's attempting to woo her, and if a guy like him could ever succeed. He just stares. He remembers her legendary reputation. She once made a man spend more than 30,000 with just a few simple words. He meets her challenge, saying that if she doesn't test him, then she will never truly know. She accepts his dare, telling him to buy the whole class snacks. Su Lil completely looks down on him, thinking he looks like a pauper, yet dares to approach her. So she resolves to put him firmly in his place. But our protagonist spends 50,000 without a single flinch. A group who is bad-mouthing him realizes he is loaded, but he doesn't dress the part. The protagonist tells her to calm down, saying that kind of money means nothing. Not missing a beat, he asks her. Su Lil is now totally perplexed. Could he be his second-generation rich heir? Meaning he was born into wealth and is a true tycoon. She agrees to add him, but first, he must pass one more test. Let's see just how I will break you. Su Lil schemes in front of a Gucci boutique. She claims she isn't a materialistic girl. She only wants to confirm his sincerity through his deeds. Seeing his clothes, our hero thinks he'll be tossed out. But Yuan tells Su Lil it's fine. She can have anything she desires. Inside the lavish store, he spots his ex with a new man. She and Junkai are discussing a handbag she's modeling. Chu-tong quickly notices the protagonist is not by himself. Su Lil asks our hero if that woman is his ex-girlfriend. She says this isn't a good time for them to be here. He declares there is no bad time. They showed up at the absolute best moment. Do you still carry that spring edition bag? Su Lil questions, and the store employee responds. They have just a single unit remaining, but Chu-tong is currently holding it. The protagonist's ex is smug and states she'll reveal the gap between a loser and a man like Junkai. Chu-tong tells Junkai that her birthday is approaching. He is baffled, recalling her birthday just passed, but she clarifies that the last birthday was celebrated based on the lunar calendar, and then she asks if he is aware. People also celebrate birthdays on the solar calendar. Don't you realize I despise materialistic women? You're not dating me for my wealth, are you? Jun Kai retorts, leaving Chu Tong utterly stunned. Following that exchange, Su Lil snatches the purse from Chu Tong, declaring she will buy it. Since it's obvious Chu Tong cannot afford it, using our protagonist's money, he gains 20 favorability points, with Su Lil swiping his credit card. He earns another 20, and, as she sniffs the new bag, he gets another 20. He is thrilled, realizing just how much money changes things, and that this one bag earned him 60 whole points. At this pace, he'll soon max out her favorability meter. The only issue is if he hits 95 with her too easily. By just purchasing these relatively cheap items, his cashback reward will be quite small. The store clerk seemed completely baffled, muttering that some men appear wealthy, yet refuse to spend anything on their lovers, while the shabbily dressed hero gives Su Lil only the finest. Chu Tong is left utterly disgraced on the floor, while Su Lil gloats that a bag is just like a new man. It's best to hold on to it very tightly. She glances at our protagonist, thinking she can't let him go, and offers him praise. Chu Tong, with tears welling in her eyes, shoves him, crying that he has crossed a line. Crossed a line? Huh, Chu Tong, you have much more pain ahead, the protagonist declares. But with her fierce action, our hero triggered the system's second relationship slot. It now begins to display her private data. Her name is Chu Tong, also 21 years old, 163 centimeters in height, weighing 49 kilos. Her appearance rating is slightly above Su Lil's, and she has -10 favorability, with the same objective of 95 favorability. Are you satisfied? Did I perform well? Didn't I? So are we off to now? Su Lil asks eagerly. The protagonist says, the night has only just begun, and I have endless cash. He asks if she is truly happy with only one new purse, and she begins grabbing everything in sight. She ends up buried in bags as our hero presents his card. The clerks promise they will deliver it all to her address after the entire purchase is complete. Chen Yuan keeps on gaining favorability with Su Lil. Another 5 points earned. He swipes the card, another 5. He swipes the card, another 5. Su Lil grows weary of acquiring new clothes and has no idea where she will store it all. Not enough room? That is no problem. I'll just buy you a mansion, declares the protagonist. But this bold move actually lost him some favorability. Su Lil says they should probably slow down as they've spent so much. The protagonist realizes he had frightened her, and that it's insane for someone to purchase a house for a new acquaintance so very quickly, even for a supposed multimillionaire. Su Lil, a junior at the Fine Arts College, 21 years of age, weighs 49 kilos, and her most liked color is black. The protagonist recites, showing he knows her details. He asks the clerk if they have a gift card he can give Su Lil. She confirms that they do. Then our hero asks to load 500,000 onto the card for Su Lil to use whenever she pleases. Chen Yuan offers the card as an apology for his mistake. She blushes with pure delight and accepts. He whispers into her ear that if she cannot fight it, she should simply surrender herself to him. Oh, you're a bad boy. You're such a bad boy, oh my goodness, Su Lil says, and he gains another 30 favorability points. The stores. Employees go wild over how considerate and kind he is. The protagonist muses that having immense wealth makes courting people much simpler. Su Lil asks him why, despite buying so much for her. He doesn't purchase any clothes for himself. Our protagonist claims he doesn't possess much cash. Su Lil, wanting to return the kind gesture, takes him to buy some brand new outfits. She starts spending the 50,000 her dad gave her, paying for a haircut, some new clothes, and fancy sneakers. Su Lil is absolutely blown away, seeing our hero with a fresh haircut and new shoes, and he secures another 5 favorability points. Another 5 and another 5. The protagonist asks if he made a mistake, since he has never spent cash on himself before. She places her hand on Chen Yuan's chin and says, "There's nothing wrong with you at all." She just feels that now they look like a perfect pair. She expresses her thanks, saying it was a wonderful day. And so, Su Lil's favorability reaches 68 points. Returning to the dormitory, his friends demand to know what he did and why he's so sharp. Chen Yuan reveals he was on a date with Su Lil. His friends offer some stern advice, telling him just recently he was heartbroken over his ex, and now he's already involved with Su Lil. They warn him to avoid her, or he'll end up penniless. The protagonist is grateful for their concern. Then he sees a text message from Chu Tong, saying that if he truly despises her, it would be best if they delete their contacts. Chun Yuan stares at his phone, wondering how he'll raise favorability with her, now that she wants to erase his contact info. But he needs to earn his cash back from her. Of course not. How could that ever happen? You will always hold a cherished place in my heart, the protagonist says, quickly sending the reply. She messages back, claiming she's not with that man by choice, but because her mother is ill and needs 50,000 for surgery. Chu Tong is stunned, realizing she was just a game to him, and gets a 50,000 transfer notification from our protagonist. Chu Tong's friend asks who sent her all that cash. She replies that it came from her ex-boyfriend. Wait, Qin Yuan, didn't you just dump his sorry but today? That loser is actually this wealthy? Chu Tong begins to wonder if she made a grave error, and even after he transferred 50,000 to Chu Tong, he only received 5 favorability points. She then bombards Chun Yuan with questions, like what he meant by sending her the money, where he obtained all that wealth, why the beautiful Su Lil was with him, and why he didn't buy a purse for her, and if he might be a second-generation rich heir. Our hero mutes her after she sends 15 texts in a row and ponders if there's a more thrilling way to spend on women. He finds a girl hosting a live broadcast, but only a few minutes are left before she signs off. She's annoyed and asks if anyone will send her gifts, or if she should just terminate the live stream. The protagonist sees he can donate up to 1 million and decides it's way more fun than buying purses. He unleashes a storm of multiple high-value gifts. The girl thanks him for sending a single rocket. But then 100 rockets detonate on the girl's screen. The people in the live chat go absolutely wild, demanding to know who sent all those gifts. Chun Yuan realizes a man with immense wealth commands attention and sends 900 additional rockets, which immediately causes her phone to die. At the company where the streamer works, an employee tells the boss that something insane happened. A man just dropped 10 million on Xiaomi's live stream. The entire staff loses their minds, unsure if the hero is laundering cash through their site, or if he is secretly connected to the company. All the other streamers doing live broadcasts see his name, and are shocked he spent 10 million on Xiaomi stream, and they all try to message him directly. In his DMs, Chun Yuan just watches the text flood in. The girl who got the gifts wonders if it's a dream, but then her boss with a sign appears. He says she must secure the protagonist's contact info, and she'll get a huge promotion for it. The girl sends him a message thanking him for his gifts. She asks if he is still watching her live chat, since she is just about to sign off. But Chun Yuan had fallen asleep after his spending spree. The following morning, his friends are reading news online about a man who spent 10 million on a girl's broadcast, and the guys debate what they would do if they possessed that much money. The protagonist realizes he spent all that cash and never established any kind of bond with her. So he opens the app and sees countless girls messaging him. One woman claims she is 28 years old and divorced, asking if he would like to meet up with her. Xiaomi is growing desperate since the protagonist won't reply to her texts, inviting him to her private studio and saying she's waiting. He's not very impressed with these messages, since he doesn't earn any favorability. His friends are still amazed by the sheer amount of money and start getting ready to leave. Our hero asks his friends where they're headed without him, and they say they're going to see the campus goddess, Zhao Yuki, and are leaving early to get a spot up close. His friends ask him if he had forgotten about her, because he usually rushes out just to see her. From the second she arrives until she departs, the system displays her information. Her name is Zhao Yuki, and she is the campus beauty, the vice president of the student government, and the dream girl of every single student. She's a level 10 piano master and an athlete, a professional in both ballet and sword fight. Her astonishing list of talents makes it incredibly challenging for any man to approach her. A truly unobtainable woman for all the college boys. In the past 3 years, no one has managed to get near her. The protagonist feels a challenge, since she's the hardest girl, meaning he will need to spend far more money. Chu Tong is close by, talking with her friend, saying Chun Yuan only learned to dress well after she left, and claims she's worried he and Jun Kai will fight over her. Her favorability score only continues to rise. She gains another 10 and gains another 10. Our protagonist is getting angry, saying that favorability is just rising because he dressed up, but it's just a distraction. His true target is Zhao Yuki. One of the guys nearby is talking about wanting to see how his own boss will win over the goddess, Zhao Yuki, and he says she will surely fall for him. He walks up to her, asking for her contact information, when another guy steps in, asking what he is trying to do. He ignores whatever that other guy is saying, and keeps on speaking directly to her, demanding that she add his number, saying he wants to get to know her and become her friend. The angry man demands to know if he is asking for a fight and what he's really trying to do with Yuki. Taking it back, he says it's a simple misunderstanding and that he only wanted to join the student council because she is the vice president and he needed some help. The angry man berates him, yelling that's not a valid excuse to hit on her, calling him a creep. But the protagonist, unfazed, asks if she can add him on her Snapchat. She looks confused, wondering why all this has happened. Our protagonist is sure that she will add his contact. The president says he is both bold and very brave for making himself a target for everyone's ridicule. The other guy has to admit, our hero is even more handsome than the previous guy and asks if he wants to join the student council as well. The protagonist answers with a firm no. He has zero interest in the student council. The guy is confused why he wants her Snapchat. Chen Yuan says he simply wants to pursue her. Students from another class are watching, noting yet another man trying to talk to her. But at least this protagonist is truly bold. Zhao Yuki decides to give him her contact information. The president's friend asks what is happening here. I'm drawn to beauty. Why should I ever hide that? Sometimes the most direct path is the most potent. What woman doesn't enjoy being courted? Says our protagonist. It confirms he has now formed a bootlicker bond with her, but it's at zero favorability. He is happy, but also confused, since she gave her info to a guy with zero favorability. Just outside the classroom, his friends say he succeeded by getting Yuki's contact, since he once acted like a simp, but now appears confident. One of the protagonist's friends jokes that, if he gets close with the vice president, he must introduce them all to her friends. The protagonist says he doubts he'll even speak with her, saying they're getting ahead of themselves, since she is the most desired girl on campus. A guy from behind yells, calling him a total loser, but admitting he has impressive taste, revealing he's the one who tried to flirt and was shot down. Chun Yuan says he is the biggest professional of all, and that our hero has a lot to learn from him. The guy begins to mock him, saying he is proud for no reason, since he just got a number, and asks if Chen Yuan even knows who he is. But our protagonist just laughs right in his face. Then, Su Lil appears, asking why Chen Yuan was so late, and says that she's been waiting for him for quite a while. Everyone is completely floored that Su Lil, known for turning down every kind of man, was actually waiting for this random guy. The protagonist invites Su Lil to eat as an apology. Su Lil asks if she looks attractive in the new clothes. At the same time, Chu Tong, filled with rage, is listening in from nearby. Our protagonist says that no woman looks pretty simply because of clothes. The couple walks away as everyone stares at them. The rejected guy says he cannot understand it. He was only one step behind our protagonist, but he stops his whining when he sees Chu Tong nearby, asking who that girl was. Su Lil hands him a sketch she drew, saying she was up the entire night drawing it, and if he dares throw it out, she will never forgive him. The protagonist says it's the first time in his whole life that he's ever been given a gift from a woman, and she asks him if he likes it. He looks at her and asks if this is all just a ploy. Su Lil wonders if he disliked the drawing, as he doesn't appear to be very pleased. He asks if she will give him better gifts in the future than just some drawings. She gets mad and demands it back. He says he won't give it back and will keep it like a treasure. The protagonist tells her he likes her as a person far more than any gift she could give. She is amazed by how skillfully he can flirt. Another 5 favorability points. Our hero thinks she wants to make him into her loyal pet, but he intends to use her to make even more money. A man interrupts, asking if Su Lil isn't getting her nails done, who the protagonist is, and if he has money. Our hero thinks this man is another one of Su Lil's simps, noting that this seems to happen a lot. Su Lil says she has no idea who he is, and he can't control her. The protagonist then steps up and introduces himself, and asks the man's name and how long he's been after Su Lil. The guy says that his name is Yang Yu, and he's from the arts program, and has been pursuing her for the last 6 months. Our hero tells him that his efforts are pointless, and tells his own tale of being replaced by another man. He pursued her for 3 entire years, working 4 jobs and eating only bread each day, only to get replaced by a rich guy with a Mercedes-Benz. Yang Yu doesn't get why he is telling him this story. The protagonist tries to inspire him, saying that those who turn their backs on you become fuel for your own self-improvement, and asks why a true man cannot have a wife. He tells Yang Yu to return to his dorm room and make that woman regret her choice. Yang Yu is so moved by this that he starts to cry. Even Su Lil has no idea what is happening and why he's crying. She awkwardly claims that he is only a friend. Our hero says he is not concerned with her past, and adds that she disrespects him and herself. He rips the drawing and tells her to use the card he provided, but he won't see her again until she fixes her own life. The protagonist wants to see how she will react to this, as it's the first time this has ever occurred. Su Lil is filled with regret for her actions, realizing the hero is the first man who ever truly liked her, and another 5 favorability points for Chun Yuan. He reflects on how much he has grown. He handled things with Su Lil, and now it is time to move onward. He goes to find Zhao Yuki and sees she's doing a live stream. She appears to be the most innocent one yet, having done nothing terrible to deserve any hate. She's doing her live, introducing herself as Kiki, practicing her piano, doing live streams for 2 days, and asking for her viewer support. Our protagonist thinks she is adorable and wonders if the VP is the type of girl who is cold outside, but is warm on the inside, arrogantly. He sees that she has few viewers and wonders if this is all she gets. At this time, Xiaomi sends a message asking where he is. He asks who she is. She thinks he has already forgotten her and says he sent countless gifts in her live stream and now doesn't recognize her. He says he was just kidding and asks if she is free to meet. She claims she can't since she has a packed schedule. He just ignores her. She tells him not to be mad, promising a very special live stream. The protagonist, annoyed, complains that she still expects him to send her gifts. He doesn't have a bootlicker system with her, and he's already spent over 10 million. Tired of this mess, he decides to give that cash to Zhao. A duel appears on the live stream, a one-on-one battle between streamers. One will compete against the other, and the one who gets more donations wins. They have to fight to earn the money. Our protagonist is delighted about the duel with the VP and asks about her opponent. The crazy girl laughs at the matchup, certain she will crush this complete novice. The protagonist says he isn't sure who will win, and the duel starts. Xiaomi has 10,000 points while Yuki is broke with 206. She's giving her all, using all her skill and charisma, genius and charm, crafting a true masterpiece. Xiaomi taunts Zhao, saying it is best for her to surrender, since she has the backing of a very wealthy man. Chun Yuan. The chat explodes over this epic battle. It seems I have used all my powers to earn money, and surely, my boss Smokey will be impressed and donate. Xiaomi thinks, but then a rocket fires on the screen, and she thinks Chun Yuan has shown up. She readies herself to thank him, but then she realizes that all the rockets went to Yuki's stream. Yuki's points soared to 152,000. A notification pops up on the screen. Lonely Smoke donated 1,000 rockets to Kiki. The VP is in a state of shock, and Xiaomi is enraged that the rockets were not for her. Her boss with the sign appears, demanding she explain why she didn't get the rockets. Shaking, Xiaomi apologizes to her fans, saying she must do something and closes the stream. Our protagonist notes that she cannot take it. Well, he sends his gifts to someone else, and he wanted to see her reaction. He hopes the VP will not let him down, considering the huge amount of money he spent. The people at the company go ballistic, thinking the ghost has struck once again, imagining that our hero must be the son of a king to pull off such a move. My God, that Smoke just gave another 10 million to a girl playing piano. Does he love music? Should I go get my triangle now? Says a streamer. Kiki and her friend talk with her friend, suggesting the VP could become an online sensation. Impressed by the thought, Yuki says that pleasing men on the web is not a long-term plan. She points out that the most vital thing for a woman is having a financial and personally self-sufficient career. Kiki's friend asks if she knows the guy, but she has no clue who it might have been. Kiki tells her friend she wants to send a thank you note for the gifts. Her friend is shocked, reminding her that she said she didn't want to date or get involved with anyone. Then she exclaims, saying perhaps she knows the man, thinking he must be the heir to someone very powerful. She guesses that he must be incredibly skilled and brought up in an insanely wealthy family, but chooses to live just an ordinary life, thus finding a normal girl and choosing to love her. She explains this to her friend, saying it must be that. Her friend brushes it off, saying she's been watching far too many dramas. Kiki imagines how hard his life must be, pretending to be just another average guy. Her friend tells her to get some sleep, saying it's late, but Kiki really wants to thank Shun. The protagonist checks his phone and sees a text from a girl, asking if he's free for a meal, and he says he wants to eat his favorite food, crayfish. She agrees, and says she'll meet him at the school gates this afternoon. She didn't ask how I got the cash for the gifts, just invited me out to dinner. I want to see what her plan is, he thinks while staring at his phone. The next morning, our hero rolls up to school on his scooter. A guy beside a Mercedes asks if he is waiting on someone. Our protagonist asks if he is waiting for someone as well. The guy says he's waiting for his girlfriend. Then, the pianist shows up, and the man tells our hero not to look for too long, because to win over a woman like her, you must work hard and possess a lot of money, or else he will take all the gorgeous women. Kiki spots our hero and sees him as a knight on a motorcycle. She sprints directly toward him. The rich guy thinks, "You can ride inside my luxury car." But she sprints to our hero's scooter, leaving the rich man dumbfounded. He questions the very point of possessing immense wealth. They speed off, and she daydreams of being his beloved bride. They soon pull up to the eatery. The pair orders a dish of fiery crayfish. The food is served, and they agree it looks absolutely divine. Our protagonist then chivalrously sets up the table for her. She muses that he still remembers how to be a true gentleman, despite having the means to dine at the most lavish places. He exudes a noble aura and remains perfectly composed. Our hero is shown eating the tiny crayfish, and she notes it's the smallest crayfish she has ever seen. Kiki is moved that Chun Yuan is dining with her like this, thinking he desires a simple life, free from grand worries, and she calls him as gentle as a delicate flower. The protagonist is baffled, wondering why he just gained another 10 favorability points. Then Kiki makes a move to feed him herself, saying she peeled this special crayfish just for him. But just as he is about to accept, an unwelcome guest arrives. It's Chu Tong once more, wondering if she just witnessed Kiki feeding Chen Yuan. She turns to her new man and complains, "This place is too packed. Let's go find a better restaurant." But the man asks if the restaurant is truly packed or just filled with faces she knows. He claims he doesn't mind eating in a crowded establishment. Chu Tong's boyfriend strides up to our hero's table and tosses $500 at him, declaring, "This is for you to leave so we can have this table now." What in the world is he thinking? Does he believe this looks cool? The protagonist wonders. The man throws down more cash, ordering him to get lost and asking if he needs more. Kiki, clutching her purse with white knuckles, looks absolutely livid. The hero sees Kiki's anger, assuming it is all because of this guy. She is filled with rage, wondering where this fool came from to spoil their moment. The man pulls out even more stacks of cash, boasting he has plenty more to make him disappear. A waiter offers to take the cash and find them a new seat. This only makes Chu Tong's boyfriend even more furious, shouting that he wants to dine at this exact table. Then, someone smacks him hard with a handbag. A woman he's never seen pretends it was just a mistake. The angry man is confused by what is happening. The blonde man seems to recognize the woman and calls her name. Shocked, he asks her what she is doing here. She furiously retorts that if she had not shown up, she never would have caught him in the act of cheating, already unleashing a curse on him. The man claims it's a huge mistake and he'd never cheat, since she is his entire world. Chen's admirers can only watch the chaos. She grabs the blonde's hair, blaming her for tempting him. The girl sobs, saying he asked her out and said he was single. The man says she's a liar and then strikes her across the face. She crumbles onto the ground, completely broken. He prepares to hit her again, but his arm is caught mid-swing. Striking a woman, "You really have a talent for humiliating yourself, don't you?" Our protagonist sneers. And just like that, he earns another 20 favorability points. Chu Tong whispers that the protagonist truly loves her. Our hero's favorability just keeps climbing. Another 20, and another 20 favorability points with Chu Tong. The second target has now surpassed the 95-point threshold. The system offers its congratulations to Chun Yuan, announcing he has successfully reversed the bootlicker dynamic. It shows Chun Yuan spent 50,000 on his second target and confirms he will be rewarded with 5,000 in return. Chu Tong has been converted into the protagonist's bootlicker, and he is granted 20 new strength points. Chun Yuan assigns 10 points to strength and 10 to fitness. He flexes his new muscles. And the blonde man screams for Chun to release his arm and grabs a bottle from the table, threatening to kill him. Chun just glares and says the man is a nuisance, then shatters both the bottle and the man, sending him flying. The man hits the ground, looking utterly broken, and Chun declares that depending on a woman is not a crime. But hitting a woman while doing so makes you truly pathetic. The blonde is biting down on his lip, clutching a sharp balloon popper. The girl with Chun Yuan is getting nervous, telling him to finish this fight quickly. Chu Tong's boyfriend lunges at our hero, but thanks to his enhanced stats, Chun evades the attack with ease. causing the blonde man to slam his elbow and fall to the floor. Everyone eating in the restaurant is completely terrified. The blonde man is on the ground, foaming at the mouth. Chun strolls away, his hand casually in his pocket, the young woman standing beside him. Chu Tong, now his official bootlicker, watches and then clings tightly to Chen's leg, begging him for forgiveness and a second chance. Cold and emotionless, Chun reminds her of the man who once ran 10 kilometers, with her on his back in the middle of the night, just to rush her to the hospital. The one who saved up for 6 months to buy her a new phone, only for her to dismiss it because it was not the latest model. And the one who, despite knowing all of her selfish vanity, always believed she was a good person deep down. He informs her that the man she once knew is now dead. Outside, talking again with the president, he apologizes for all the chaos that just happened. She says calling her president is much too formal, and that he is welcome to call her Kiki. She says it didn't bother her at all, and that she witnessed a brand new side of someone. She thinks to herself, Chun Yuan is more fascinating the more she learns about him, imagining that he will bring endless surprises into her life. Arriving home, Chu Tong is sobbing, drenched from the rain. Her friend asks why she has no umbrella. Chu Tong is too distraught to speak in coherent sentences. Her friend then asks if it was about the protagonist, saying she heard he gave 10 million to Zhao in her broadcast. She says Chun Yuan may not appear to be, but he's actually loaded. Wait, more than 10 million? Where did you hear that from? Is that actually true? Chu Tong asks desperately. Yes, Zhao's classmates told the entire school. Her friend confirms. She cannot believe what she is hearing. She screams Chun Yuan's name for the entire dorm room to hear. Our protagonist friends are playing mobile League of Legends. They asked how he became so good, winning 18 games in a perfect streak. Our hero had never guessed that. Adding 20 attribute points would make him a god. At online games, a friend with a cool haircut says with this kind of skill, he could easily become a streamer, making millions and getting famous. He is stunned by the power his new attribute points hold. Looking at his body, he wonders who will be next to enjoy. Next, at his door, his friends yell for him to come outside. His phone is buzzing. Chun Yuan wonders what new scheme she will use to control him. The protagonist picks up the phone, but his voice is ice cold. Hello. Miss Sulil, is there something that you need to tell me? The protagonist asks. She immediately begins to sob, saying she has no idea what to do. It shows her in a messy room filled with his expensive gifts. She asks to borrow 500,000 from it. Sulil says her family was once very wealthy, but now they are trapped by a huge debt, unable to even pay the interest, making no headway and just needing to pay it all off. Our protagonist only asks her 2 questions, what she needs, and to send her bank account details. She is in shock, thinking he would refuse to send the cash. She immediately sends him her account information. Our protagonist then transfers 5 million. She says he accidentally transferred 5 million. He claims he must have hit an extra 0 and tells her that she can keep the change. She screams with pure joy, and then it keeps climbing higher and more and more. Her favorability continues to skyrocket. Sulil is screaming with pure joy. Amin crying. Sulil thanks the protagonist and vows to repay him as soon as she is able. Her favorability is still on the rise, now hitting 94. Our protagonist sees her score at 94 points and grumbles that he can't seem to win her over completely. He thinks about confessing, but quickly throws the idea away, as the one who reveals their heart first always loses. The following day, the hero is with his friends when someone calls his name out from behind him. When he turns to look, it is Chu Tong. She's holding pastries and asks if he would like to eat them. In the classroom, our hero's friend is completely stunned, wondering why she is bringing breakfast for Chun Yuan. But then he hears someone else call his name and sees it's Sulil, who has also brought him some breakfast, saying he must be sick of eating the cafeteria's slop. They are now facing off in a bootlicker war. But then once again, someone else calls out for Chun Yuan. His friends are furious that he has yet another woman after him. The protagonist wonders who it is now. This time, it is the president who brought ramen for them to share. The 3 women stare daggers at one another. The president is the second most beautiful girl on campus, with a powerful and intimidating aura. The hero takes the ramen and asks how she knew that he loves ramen with meat. She says it was simple to figure out since they had a date. Chun Yuan isn't even trying to win them over anymore. He just wants to see who can win him over better. Our hero says that President Kiki is the clear winner, since she truly understands his preferences, sending a subtle jab at the other 2 bootlickers. Kiki states, She would not deliver breakfast without knowing his taste, and then adds if someone doesn't notice these details, he obviously doesn't care for them. After saying this, it was as if she had delivered a knockout blow to the other two. Then she hands him a gift to show her appreciation. Our protagonist is very impressed. It is the brand new iPhone. All his friends are stunned to see the latest model phone. One of our hero's friends says that watching girls give gifts to Chen Yuan is more painful than losing his own father. The girl says she was very generous to give a 10,000 item. The protagonist tells Kiki that she really shouldn't have. She replies that he spent so much more on her, and it is the gesture that matters, as she is not very wealthy. In the following scene, Chu Tong is completely heartbroken, wondering how she can possibly win back Chen Yuan. A few days later, there are now many rivals. Su Lil calls Chu Tong to speak in a private area, but Chu Tong is absolutely furious, blaming her for all of this that is happening. Su Lil approaches and proposes they form a team to defeat Yuki. In the next chapter, our hero is with his new iPhone, praising Yuki for her gift. She glances back, thinking he had said something, but Chen Yuan says it was absolutely nothing. The hero has 40 favorability points with the warrior. He thinks that if it were not for that measly 40 favorability score, she would have already fallen for him by this point. He's very impressed with her behavior, feeling as if she's changing him into a new man. He's so far from maxing out her favorability points, but she is acting as if he's already done it. His phone buzzes, and it is Xiaomi, the little streamer girl from TikTok. She texts him saying that last time they couldn't get together, but she was just kidding, and they can meet now, though she's afraid to meet people from her live streams. Our protagonist is quite confused, wondering if that is some sort of a lame excuse. He says she must at least send him some photos, because he is not very easy to win over. He gets a message from a man named Dragon King, inviting him to join an elite group of otakus, where trashy people donate huge sums of money. Chen Yuan enters the group, now named Solitary Cigarette. Someone is amazed that the Dragon King invited our hero, saying he is the biggest spender they have ever witnessed. Our protagonist sends a message, introducing himself to the group and asks them to guide him. Someone says he gives off the appearance of a wealthy man and must possess some kind of amazing talent. Another person says they have a business and asks if he wants to invest. So these rich kids want to test my power. Fine, I will play your little game. He thinks, yes, sure, I can assist you. Let's talk. Message me in private. The protagonist says, hey, Big Cigarette, I have a massive villa for sale. Are you at all interested? Another person asks. Our protagonist asks where the villa is located, and the man sends him the address. Our hero says the villa is in the Anka district, and a home there is worth a huge sum of money. He plans to purchase an apartment, and will go to inspect it in the next few days. Inside the huge mansion, a bald man asks if our hero is really thinking about buying, and if Chen Yuan actually has the cash, since he thinks he is a complete nobody. The protagonist receives the address and wonders how much favorability he would get if he gave this villa to her. The next day, arriving at the villa with the president, she asks why he brought her to this mansion so suddenly. Hey, you must be brother Lou's Cigarette, is that right? Says the guard with the illustrated head. Our hero recognizes his face and gives him a friendly hug. The man thinks Chin doesn't appear very rich, but having the president with him lends him some clout. He wonders if Chun comes from hidden, wealthy family and thinks this will be a hard negotiation. He introduces himself as Hong Yuan Chao and says he runs a few small companies, but must sell the villa due to some financial troubles. The bald man then invites them inside. The host showcases the home, saying it has over 500 square meters. The property is over 2,000 square meters. The decorations were done by famous designers, and the furniture is custom and made in Italy. He tells them to take in the view of the river and city, and says if he didn't need the cash, he would want to be buried on this very spot. Kiki realizes he is serious about purchasing the home, even though it's incredibly expensive. Chen Yuan takes a brief look around, stating he expected the house to be much more beautiful, and asks how much it would cost to live here. The bald man says he needs the money, and adds that many people are interested in the house, making it very difficult to negotiate. He says he hoped to sell it for around 50 million, but asks if 60 million is a reasonable price. Chen Yuan simply lets out at him. The man worries if the price is far too high for him, and thinks it's impossible to fool the son of a noble. Our hero says he never thought it would be this cheap. Everyone else in the room is shocked by our hero's words. The bald man thinks he should have asked for much more, like 70 or even 80 million. The protagonist asks Kiki if they should go ahead and buy. Kiki is stunned, but says she doesn't care if he buys. He gets closer to her and says he is buying this home for her. The bald man is completely shocked, never thinking he would buy the house for the president. Kiki stands there, frozen like a statue, stunned, saying that 60 million is way too much. She imagines Chun Yuan locking her in the dark basement, tying her up. She then apologizes, saying she cannot accept such an extravagant gift. Our protagonist takes her by the hand, asking her to please listen to him. He explains that there is a limit on the number of homes he can own. He already owns several houses. He was planning on putting this one in her name. That way, she would have her own private house. She imagines doing wild things with him. The protagonist whispers, asking her if she thinks relationships are meaningful, saying that everything he owns also belongs to her, getting another 10 favorability points, another 10, and another 10. He has now reached 90. Just 5 more points to go. Our hero thinks that he truly deserves an Oscar, saying his skills as an actor are getting better. The blonde girl nudges the bald man, asking him when this will ever happen to them. The man says he does not have the money for gifts like that. Meanwhile, Chun Yuan swipes his credit card. He says he will wire the cash, and after the forms are complete, they'll handle the rest. The man tells our hero not to worry, and that everything will be taken care of in a few days. The protagonist's plan is unfolding just as he hoped. The president's favorability is now at 90. Chun Yuan thinks that once he maxes out her favorability, the 70 million he put in will return over 700,000. She looks at our hero and thinks, considering all that has just transpired, he is about to say something that will make her blush. She imagines their fairy tale wedding, wondering if it will be in Milan or the beautiful Maldives. She wonders what the engagement ring will look like, already thinking about their future baby's name, and worries if he will forget about her when he is older. But before she can imagine any more, they have arrived at their location. She gets out of the car and asks if Chun Yuan is coming out. He simply says no. A friend asked him to play a match of LOL and waves goodbye. She waves back to him sadly. She feels utterly betrayed, expecting much more than a simple goodbye. Chun Yuan arrives at the internet cafe, greeting his friends. They complain that he took forever, saying they began a game without him. His friends rush him to log in and play with them, as they were getting destroyed. Our protagonist notices Su Lil is there and is very surprised. She explains that her dad owns a chain of internet cafes, and this location was just recently opened. She is here to help bring in new customers. She thanks him, saying her family's debts are finally all gone. Su Lil tells him to stay right where he is, because she will go and get him a drink, and a card with unlimited funds to play at the cafe. Chun Yuan says that is not needed, but something explodes behind him. 2 men appear, one looking like a movie villain. He asks Su Lil if she's Lao Shu's daughter, and when her father is going to pay his debt. Su Lil, looking like a complete mess, says her father paid the 5 million and asks what they want. The man says 5 million was only the start. There is still 15 million left in interest. She calls it a scam and threatens to phone the police. The man grabs Su Lil by her wrist, telling her to be quiet, and that if she does not want to pay the 15 million, they will simply take her. He says that after 1 or 2 years, she would pay off the debt by working at his special nightclub. Our protagonist pulls her arm away, telling the man to back off if he wants to stay alive. Su Lil goes into a total panic. The thug says our hero has no idea what he is getting into, and orders his thugs to finish him. Then total chaos breaks out, with some men using cake cutters, and others using their own bare fists. The protagonist lands a powerful kick right on the thug's shin. His friends are completely awestruck, saying it looked just like a cyclone kick. The scene shifts to the thugs running away to avoid a beatdown. The casino man says if they see them on the streets again, there will be no more chances for talk. With 95 favorability, Su Lil throws herself into our protagonist's arms. The system congratulates him for getting another woman to 95 favorability points and confirms that he has spent 5.3 million. So he will be rewarded with 530,000. A notification appears. Su Lil has been successfully converted into your loyal bootlicker. Chun Yuan is embracing her, but Chu Tong is watching from the background. However, he is only thinking about where to put his new attribute points he received. The trainer arrives, completely stressed, calling Su Lil a betrayer for wanting to form a team, and now for hugging the protagonist. Our hero watches, but gets tired of just observing, and tells the system to put all points into strength and agility. Everyone wonders where he went. but he has simply vanished into thin air. Chun Yuan is walking calmly around the college campus, saying he has already earned his points from Chu Tong and Su Lil, and that only President Zhao really matters now, since there is only one president. Our protagonist says he needs even more girls. Someone approaches and taps him on the back, asking if he can step aside, as the track team needs this area, and it would be best if he did not stand right there. Chun Yuan thinks. She is bold, but also very sincere. The protagonist asks for her contact information, but someone else said she is already taken, and warns him to leave if he doesn't want any trouble. Chun Yuan stares, wondering if he has seen that man before. He has a flashback and recalls this thug was bullying him, and tells him to look at himself before judging others, and asks why he was going after Zhao. Recalling everything, he says, "It's so easy to run into old enemies." Our protagonist activates the system on the man's girlfriend. The system displays her information, stating her name is Hejian. She is 19 years old and stands at 1.69 meters tall, weighs 50 kilograms, and has an appearance score of 8.2. Her current favorability is a mere -5. Considering the high difficulty, the system will award more attribute enhancement points. Chun Yuan cheers, saying he can get 22 points. The jealous man is in line for the big race. People wonder who that guy is standing in the last lane, saying they have never witnessed him run before. The race begins, and the man takes off, saying it's too simple and he must be racing against ants. But he fails to notice our hero passing him at light speed, leaving nothing behind but smoke. Chun Yuan asks Hejian to watch, as the protagonist will win against a man who trained his whole life. The guy is nearly exploding with pure rage, and asks if Chun Yuan is looking down on him. He doesn't see it, but our hero has lapped him completely, wondering how this is even possible. The protagonist taunts the man, saying he trained for an entire decade, only to lose to a week's worth of favorability points. The entire crowd goes absolutely wild. Everyone is amazed that in 15 seconds, he's on his 5th lap. Chun Yuan arrives happily at the finish line. The most loyal girl in all of China is stunned that Liang lost. The announcer says something amazing is happening before them. A new champion who is about to shatter all existing records. A muscular professor walks up to our protagonist, saying Chun Yuan possesses incredible abilities, and asks if he wants to join the official track team, promising that with just a bit more training, he could reach the national championship. The humiliated guy asks if that spot wasn't already his. The protagonist mocks Liang, asking if the spot truly was his, saying it isn't anymore. The last romantic girl in China imagines that our protagonist is a professional athlete. With that thought, she gains 5 favorability points. The loser approaches and asks if she was thinking about it. She says no. She was simply concerned about his well-being. Another 5 favorability points and another 5 favorability points. Kiki is back in her room asking where she was. She asked if she knew that our hero bought her a mansion. She is completely shocked by this news and asks if he really purchased a whole house for her. She explains that she was busy touring the house with him and that it cost a full 60 million in Anku. Her friend wonders how a president can be so lucky and so dense. She grabs her phone and sees something happening on the forums, telling Kiki to come and look at it too. The rumor says that Chun Yuan from Ru University is human scum, involved in many relationships at the same time, and the two of them just stare at each other. Chun Yuan wonders if he really was all that bad, saying he was only spending some money, and then that it's all just lies. 3 Cheeto-eating losers are celebrated, that they are going to destroy the protagonist's reputation. A man appears behind them, asking them what they are doing. The 3 of them are shocked, and say that our hero has been far too arrogant, and they're trying to teach him a painful lesson. The race loser also sees the new rumors about our hero and wonders if he is not the man from the race. Now that he knows our protagonist's name, he recalls beating him up when they were in school. He says they attended the same high school, saying our hero was a psycho since he was a kid and has a lot of juicy information about him. The loser says he used to stalk and annoy all the girls. The 3 boys put him in a chair, asking more questions, wanting more details about our protagonist to post online and ruin his good name. Liang says that after he won that race, our hero thinks he can get away with anything, but he will change how everyone thinks about him, saying even the coach won't want to help him out, calling him the garbage of the entire university. The news claims he is the biggest trash at the school and that he is involved with a number of different women, always treating them like objects, and warns others to avoid him. One guy adds that the girls he was involved with didn't do so willingly. They say he bothered them so much that even their school grade averages fell. Everyone seeing this says they never imagined that about him. The girls are completely in shock. In the main president's office, he takes the man's phone and says, "Our protagonist cannot remain at the university, but he will personally investigate Chun Yuan and have him expelled." In the next chapter, someone says that Chun Yuan is a truly unique person, imagining that our hero cannot see a woman suffer without wanting to spend all of his money to help her, kicking the Joker. "Hey, you trash. I despise men who hit women." Whenever the night arrives, he becomes a dark knight with incredibly strong fists. He puts an end to all evil, a mysterious and powerful man protecting this city of sin. And the one who said this was none other than President Kiki. She says that in her eyes, our protagonist is a hero. The guys ask if calling him a hero isn't a bit of stretch, and ask her where she got that from. Kiki says it is just her intuition. The men wonder if they can rely on her testimony. The man helping the president says, she is the vice president of the student government. A little strange, but completely trustworthy. The president just scowls, saying he doesn't want to know, and asks them to question others. The president says no one better than him can be in this role. Now, they're going to speak with Chu Tong. "Hello, miss. We have some questions about a classmate of yours. His name is Chun Yuan. Please come with us," said the interviewer. Chu Tong says he is too good, but she was never truly enough for him. She also says she was a total fool and extremely greedy, admitting that she did our protagonist completely wrong and wants him to please accept her back. And then she completely breaks down, crying. An officer gives her a tissue to dry her many tears. The officer asks Chu Tong if, even after our hero rejected her, he still continues to be a kind and good man. The president, seeing her desperation, says she deserves everything that is happening to her, saying she is not worthy of his love and he did no wrong. The student president angrily sparks a cigarette, stewing in his envy. He starts to question if he judged too harshly. He realizes our protagonist is truly blameless, and that others only want to destroy his name. Glancing down, he spots two more people approach. He questions who they are, carrying a large sign. It is Su Lil, accompanied by her very own father. The president identifies himself, asking their purpose. "I am Su Lil, a student from the art department, and I wish to create a banner to support Chun Yuan." Her father then begins to elaborate that our hero defended his daughter just days prior and provided immense aid to his entire family. The president is now more amazed and envious of our hero. With that settled, he bids them both farewell. He admits he likely condemned the wrong man and decides to review the forum post once more. He sees a girl's comment boldly declaring, "If he is garbage, then I am diving right into the trash bin." The girls are all sharing it as our protagonist runs. Countless girls defend him, saying that one look at him made their own hearts begin to race. The president is stunned. Only the women are his defenders. He believes he's targeted simply because he shines too brightly. The president now declares he understands Chun Yuan and that he himself will now deliver justice. He won't stand for any slander or attacks against him. The president calls an assembly to address the false rumors spreading about Chun Yuan across the school's forums. He states he performed a complete investigation and confirms that our protagonist is an honest man and that the rumors against him are nothing but lies. He is here today to clear Chun Yuan's good name. The president announces that our hero is always eager to help everyone, noting that Chun Yuan has saved countless people and never seeks any credit for his deeds. Thus, he keeps all his actions a secret. He heaps praise on Chun Yuan, almost moved to tears, and presents him with a special award for those who make a positive impact on society, urging every student to learn from their noble classmate. Our protagonist is completely baffled by this turn of events, saying he does not understand what is happening and why he's being given this strange certificate. If it was for saving the life of someone, Liang is furious, wondering what has happened. He begins to curse out the student president. Since our hero's name was meant to be dragged through mud, he screams that he should be in Chun Yuan's position. Then he notices his girlfriend is showering our protagonist with praise, and her favorability score begins to climb. Another 10 points, and another 10. The assembly ends, and the students start to depart. She asks if he has lost his mind or is feeling sick, and why he is so consumed with envy for our hero. She says she feels true admiration for her classmate, despite having helped so many different people. Chun Yuan cares nothing for fame or for great wealth. She mentions how he won the race against Liang, but still refused to join the official track team, calling this a true mark of an incredible person. He seizes her wrist with a powerful grip. She screams for him to shut his mouth and let go, yelling he is hurting her. The loser then gets closer. Chen Yuan is a nobody. Liang starts bragging about his Tesla and his many assets, but just a few feet away from them, our hero calls the bald man to come pick him up, stating he does not want a flashy car to get him, as he wishes to maintain his humble appearance. The illustrated head arrives in a brand new vehicle. The bald man apologizes, saying he was focused on time, and that is why he chose this specific car. Our hero gets angry, telling him to be more careful. He specifically said not to use a luxury car. The man says that he has now understood. The two of them watch as our protagonist drives off. Liang's girlfriend then declares she is done with this charade and wants to break up. He cries out that this is impossible, but he is left completely shattered on the ground. Chen Yuan transfers some funds to the bald man. The man expresses his gratitude. Our hero says that while things are being settled, he will head back to school. The bald man offers a lift, but Chen Yuan says it's not needed. The car is too noticeable. The man simply says, "Understood," and asks our hero to be safe walking through the city. Our hero thinks that his priority is now President Zhao, needing just a little bit more to complete her system and claim the 25 attribute points. He decides he must purchase something special for her and wonders if the bald man has anything else to sell. He checks the exclusive group chat. Everyone is amazed that after a very brief chat, our protagonist actually bought the entire house. One man says Chen Yuan must have an endless supply of money. Our protagonist tells them all to just relax, claiming he only bought it to assist a friend in need. The men are floored when our hero suddenly appears. The entire group seems to worship him now. A man asks if he wants to buy a luxury vehicle, saying he has connections with people who sell them. Then another man approaches him, stating the Zhang family runs an imported car business, and that it is an honor to finally meet our hero. Our hero glances at the business card, and it reads, Zhang Group. Chen Yuan assumes his family owns a massive empire, and that this man must be a second-generation heir. He tells Zhang that running such a huge car business at his age is amazing. The man says he believed our protagonist was much older, considering that he purchased that entire house. They talk, and from a short distance away, two men wonder just who Chen Yuan could be, figuring he must be the son of some powerful family, especially since manager Zhang greeted him personally. But they give up, knowing they have no hope with him. The manager claims he does not wish to brag, but states that he owns the dealership with the biggest luxury car collection in the city, claiming our hero can request any car he desires. Our hero thinks of a legendary vehicle and says he is looking for a Bugatti Chiron. The manager thinks Chen Yuan must be joking, as there are so few of them. The hero says he lacks it, and Zhang looks ashamed. Chen Yuan asks if they have a Lamborghini Veneno. Zhang replies that they do not have one. Our protagonist asks if they have a Pagani Huayra. Zhang says that they don't have that model either. The salesman is now sweating absolute bullets, thinking that Chen Yuan is destroying his business. The manager clarifies that the cars they have in stock are priced between 2 and 8 million. And the cars our hero wants are far beyond that range. Our protagonist expresses his disappointment, saying he expected more from Zhang's grand claims. Zhang thinks our protagonist must be pulling his leg, since he purchased a house for that much. But it seems he desires a car of a similar price. The manager admits they lack the cars he wants, but they do possess a single Ferrari, a LaFerrari that he should come and look at. He notes it is one of Ferrari's most elusive cars, with a V12 engine that produces 800 horsepower. It has a dual-clutch transmission, and it goes from 0 to 100 in under 3 seconds. It costs a mere 22 million. He then asks for our protagonist's thoughts on the car. Chen Yuan says that Ferraris aren't seen as too pricey, but they're not exactly cheap either, and that it could be the ideal gift for President Zhao. Our hero states that if the price exceeds 20 million, then the deal is made. Chen Yuan compliments Zhang for his hard work and says he wants to pay with his card immediately. He asks if it can be delivered to Riverside Villa No. 1. The man, sweating, says he can make that happen. Chen Yuan gets a call from Lu Wenjia screaming at him. In the next scene, one of the protagonist's friends says that on his birthday, his girlfriend Georgia claimed she was getting her nails done with a friend. But he got worried since she had been gone for a long time. It began to rain, and he knew she did not have an umbrella. But what he witnessed in that moment would shatter anyone's heart. He saw her cheating on him out in the pouring rain. He tells our hero that his heart is still aching, since they were together for 3 long years, and he was even planning their wedding to meet her parents. Chen Yuan says it's fine, and that he's had 8 whole bottles, so he should probably take a small break. But the broken-hearted man wants to know how to win her back. Our protagonist says he must keep his composure, that the mistake was entirely hers, not his, and screams that he's becoming a pathetic bootlicker. The sad man collapses to the floor, asking our hero if it isn't difficult to accept, and that he cannot accept that she betrayed him. Our protagonist, now enraged, says he must be taught a lesson and grabs his phone. His friend asks who he is calling and what his plan is. Chun Yuan tells him to be calm and to trust him, that from this moment on, he will take care of everything, and he will ensure his ex-girlfriend kneels down before him and begs him for his forgiveness. The protagonist calls the dealership manager, who answers right away. Chun Yuan says he needs to borrow some cars, but nothing too fancy, just the ones that are worth over 20 million, and says he needs some reliable friends to drive them tomorrow. The dealership manager says, no problem, and that he will prepare everything for tomorrow. The protagonist's friend is still completely baffled. Chun Yuan then calls Su Lil. His friend notes that with a single phone call, he summoned a beautiful woman and asks where the Chun Yuan, who used to worship women, has gone. And why it now appears she is the one worshipping his boots. Hey Su Lil, this is my good brother Wenjie, said our hero, introducing his friend to her. She was totally confused, thinking our hero called her over just to introduce a buddy. But then she considers it more and thinks maybe he wants her to meet his inner circle. But our protagonist quickly says that it has nothing to do with that, and that he just needs her assistance with a small prank. The following day, the hero's friend arrives looking like a gangster. Su Lil clings to his arm, saying that he had scared her, that the car he bought for her almost ran somebody over. The hero's friend is all flustered and says if she had hit him, it would be fine as they could just purchase another one. Stuttering a few times, Chun Yuan's friend's ex wonders how he transformed into this impressive man, looking like a second-generation rich heir. She asks if Wenjie only came here to flex on her. He says that somebody here was barking. Stuttering nervously, the ex, enraged, asks what he's doing, asking if he doesn't realize she knows his entire family. She confesses her mistake, but says he is being shameless, acting like this in the car. Another friend says that the woman understood it all. Brothers, it is now time to step onto the main stage, and the performance is just about to begin, said our protagonist. Several men pull up in Ferraris. A guy with white hair steps out and asks Wenjie if he's okay, and if he even recognizes him. Approaching to speak to the new man of Wenjie's cheating ex. Little girl, he said, his name is Ma Kai, am I right? His family owns a mine? Huh, this guy is a pathological liar, pretending to have things to win over girls. And you think what? That he is a second-generation rich heir? Wake up to the real world, ma'am, said the white-haired man. The guy caught cheating with Wenjie's ex asked the white-haired man to please let him go. The white-haired man says these guys' methods never change, and that they can only fool the most naive of girls, adding that Wenjie's ex is already a lost cause. The girl, now furious that she was deceived, goes after the man she cheated on Wenjie with. Wenjie just watches and then tells everyone to leave, but his ex clings to his leg, begging him not to leave her, saying it's not that she is just materialistic, but that she's afraid of being poor and asks for another chance. Wenjie tells her not to call him by that name, and that this is the final time they will ever see each other, asking her to never try and contact him again. The guy quickly glances around, seeing that everyone is talking. He tries to escape, but runs right into our protagonist's chest. Chun Yuan asks if he wants to flee, but only after 100 slaps. At the bar, everyone driving the Ferraris is celebrating, finally meeting the legendary Mr. Yuan in person. Our protagonist says they don't need to do that, and thanks them all for their help. The men tell Lu Cigarette that it's no problem at all, because he's a friend of their chief Zhang, and he doesn't have to be so formal with them. The white-haired man then asks if he isn't the guy from the streaming platform news, and says that he has a special request. Our protagonist asks what this big favor is. The men are just staring at each other. The white-haired man says he has a favorite streamer, but he's out of cash, and asks if Chun Yuan can help him out. The protagonist, thinking the men are just trying to see how much cash our hero has. The dealership manager tells our hero not to worry, saying that it was all just a simple joke, and looks at the white-haired man, saying if he wants a girl, he should handle that all by himself. Loose Cigarette slams his drink down on the table. The men imagine he did not enjoy that little joke. Our protagonist says the joke was far too tame for him, because it's only about sending some silly gifts. He says he'll just go to the restroom, leaving his own phone right there on the table, for the man to spend as much as he wants. The man takes the phone, outraged that he's being allowed to use it like this, trusting a total stranger to spend all of his money. Chun Yuan thanks him, knowing there's no money in his account to cover all the drinks, but knows the man can send gifts as much as he wants. Our protagonist goes to relieve himself. The man looks around, imagines a dragon versus a chick, and mutters, "He's a good kid." Coming out of the bathroom, Shin Yuan sees everyone huddled together, wondering what's happened. My God, 1004, 1006. Damn, man. Everyone around the table says. The protagonist strolls up to the table, asking why they're all acting like that. The white-haired man gets flustered and returns the phone. Our protagonist then calls him weak, because he only spent 20 million while he was gone. The men go crazy, wondering if he has more cash than a bank. Our hero is annoyed that he only spent 13 million and says, not even 20 million is all that much, saying he will now spend 60 million. The man grabs his hand, saying that's enough spending. She will not be comfortable with all that money. The dealership manager arrives and tells the white-haired man that he could not win and proposes a toast to their new Chief Yuan. The man begins the toast. Honorable Chief Yuan, from this day on, I will follow your leadership. The crowd wonders who the man in the circle is. They say the white-haired man is very rich, but he seems to be following our protagonist now. Shin Yuan's phone buzzes. He takes a look, bidding farewell to the entire group. The blue guard guy realizes our hero's plan and says he's running away, so he doesn't have to pay the bill. But another man calls him a fool and asks if he didn't see the money spent right before them. And the guy just agrees. The message was from the little streamer, saying she's now in town and cannot wait to meet him. Our hero says he is free tomorrow and send her some kisses. Shin Yuan gives a cold stare and says that after a long time, he will finally reap the rewards of his kindness. Arriving, she thinks it will just be a date, and that with her own charm. She will not have any problems at all. The next chapter opens with a very long message. It is from Chu Tong, saying they can start over, and that she pictures them traveling around the world, tasting all the best dishes. But when she woke up, she saw she was all alone and begged for his forgiveness. The protagonist went there, blocked, and deleted her number because of his date with the streamer. The girl asked what he was doing, but Shun Yuan says it was nothing important and asks what she said. She remembers her boss yelling at her, saying he spends more than all her other fans combined, and even if she must strip and put him to bed, she absolutely must capture him. The little streamer thinks that even with her beauty, he seems completely uninterested in her, and is sad that she cannot seem to win him over. She tries to win him over with her feminine charms, asking him how he became so wealthy at such a young age. However, the system sends him a message, saying her favorability is too high and cannot establish a link. Our hero realizes he must lower her favorability first, and wonders what he should do. He starts doing gross things to tank her favorability, to establish a connection, like putting his feet on the table. He tells her he's just a jobless man who got very lucky. She's mad that he doesn't have a job, but has cash to spend. Our protagonist says he only uses his rich father's money, and that they're now going completely bankrupt, owing millions of dollars to the banks. He claims he set up this meeting to see if he could get his money back, because he donated far too much. She is disgusted when he doesn't wash his hands after picking his nose. But at least our protagonist's plan is working, as he loses 20 favorability points. She cannot take it anymore and asks why he asked her out if he's broke, saying that demanding gifts back proves he's not an honorable man. Lose 20, lose 20, lose 20. She says she must have been completely insane to date a loser like him. The little streamer calls someone, saying she met our hero and he will not stop bothering her, thinking that he could be a stalker. Our protagonist is disgusted to find such a dishonest woman, calling her shameless for changing her attitude so quickly. A man bursts in, asking who is bothering his woman. She runs to him, saying she was scared to death of this pervert, Shin Yuan. The man ignores her and approaches Brother Yuan. "You are here too?" said the shocked protagonist. The man is very impressed to finally meet Shin Yuan, saying it is a true honor to meet him. She is completely confused, not understanding why Mr. Yuan is so polite to him. The man is one of the richest second-generation heirs, owning many industries in the local area. He slams the table, calling her a complete idiot, saying she's bothering one of the most important men, calling him poor. She wonders why he is doing this, thinking our hero was testing her own sincerity, and realizing she has made a very grave mistake. The little streamer knows she must win him back and starts to apologize, begging him for his forgiveness. With that, the system finally connects with her. Our protagonist glances over and says, "It's all right, you're just a young and very inexperienced girl." She says she understands, and that he is truly her favorite. +10, +10, +10, +10 favorability points. Shun Yuan wonders if this is how people make a living by seducing, thinking that as long as they can get some money, favorability will just keep rising. He says he won't let her go so easily. The guy from the date slams down the table, saying he spent a fortune on her to boost her fame, and she treats one of his best friends like this. The guy invites our hero to an honor event. The protagonist says he can go without any issues, and that he's only doing it out of respect for their friendship. Chen Yuan then gets into the car. The little streamer says she wants to come along too. In the car, she hugs him and asks if he is still mad at her, saying she now really understands she was totally wrong. Our protagonist takes out his phone and opens the streaming app. He says it is okay, and she's worrying far too much. Chen Yuan opens a live stream of a very wholesome girl, telling all the viewers to follow her. The little streamer watches, shocked, as he makes huge donations. The girl on the stream goes wild from all the gifts, not understanding what is happening. She faints from the sheer amount of money she received. The little streamer is blown away with how quickly our protagonist spends his cash. She says all that money should be hers, and he must be joking, plus 30 favorability points. The girl says she wishes his fingers were tapping the screen, but her own body instead, and he gains another 30 favorability points. He watches her, saying she's insane for enjoying watching him humiliate her by giving his money to other women. Arriving at the venue, the guy welcomes our hero, saying it is the most famous private restaurant in the city, only accessible with a very special membership pass, and it has 3 very important features. Our protagonist is confused about the 3 features, guessing amazing food, a very unique atmosphere, but he cannot figure out the final one. The man is impressed. He guessed 2 and says he would not be able to guess the 3rd. Chen Yuan sees the president playing her instrument, and the guy says, that's the 3rd point. The head chef's daughter, Zhao Yuki. She stands up, and they share a confused look. She sees the streamer clinging to our protagonist's arm, and he loses 5 favorability points as she breaks her instrument. Sad and teary-eyed, our protagonist watches her flee, complaining he was so close to finally making his move, and wonders if he could take advantage of this new situation and solve everything in one single move. He pins her against the wall, and she says he is a massive idiot for toying with her feelings. Chen Yuan says he cannot lose this opportunity if he lets her go. He has no idea how he'll fix things with her later. And then he takes a huge risk, asking if she's seen a certain movie. She asks what he is even talking about, saying she is done with him, and now he's asking about films? But Chen Yuan lights a cigarette and says he's a tycoon's son, asking if she realizes he has an incredible background and must be wondering why he leads such a simple life. He says that in his family, there is a secret tradition when someone turns 18, they must spend 10 billion in a single month to inherit a huge fortune of 50 billion. Our protagonist explains that his goal is to spend this cash, saying he's invested in many different projects, activities, donations, and environmental causes, and mentions this girl was a streamer he gave money to because he had to spend all that cash. He says this situation was just a small misunderstanding and that everything he just told her is a secret only she knows, asking her to please understand. Chen Yuan says this is a secret he has carried for a long time, and he bids her a final farewell. Kiki says she's causing more and more problems for him, and it is so hard to see how he will inherit this fortune. She sees Chen Yuan and then embraces him. She says she is not ready to say goodbye to him, and that it was a huge mistake for her to think that way. Hugging him, she thinks he really trusts her because he told her a family secret. With that, she gains 20 favorability points. On the ride back, she apologizes for getting so upset, saying it was not on purpose, and that Chen Yuan is her friend, too, and that she'll pay his entire bill. The guy is amazed that in less than 5 minutes, he was able to make up with the president. However, the little streamer is not happy in the slightest, very angry, saying Kiki thinks she is so great, but she is the one who will win over Chen Yuan. At the table, she asks what his relationship with the president is, but then the president says the protagonist has not even revealed his real name yet, and that it's best for her to call him brother now, since he is probably much younger than her. The guy says the president is controlling the entire table, just staring at her. The little streamer holds her tongue. Chen Yuan tells the 2 of them to stop and eat quickly because he is starving. The 2 of them glare at each other. The guy says Yuan does not care about a single thing and that he is extremely mysterious. One's a famous streamer from the Shark platform, a wealth reaper, and the other is a famous, talented woman with goals higher than the heavens. He says our protagonist has the best of both worlds to pick for his future. He says, Chen Yuan, has mastered the art of seducing women and is a succubus for girls. At first, he was amazed by his immense wealth, but now he will follow him as a spiritual guide until he dies. At home, Chun Yuan says that restaurant was too pricey and thanks Kiki for paying. As an apology, he says he will check how his plan is going, and that Chu Tong and Su Lil are still his loyal bootlickers, and sees that the president's favorability is now at 91, and the little streamers is at 92. The protagonist sees the very high points and wonders if it is a good time to make an aggressive play. He notices someone standing behind the president and asks if that is Liang's girlfriend. Seeing she has 76 favorability points, he remembers it was 25 when he raced her, and wonders if his own charm has increased. These days, guys rush by saying a man is confessing to a girl. A guy wanted to love and to be loved back. Our hero says it is rare to find real love these days. Downstairs, a crowd watches a heart made of candles. The cuckold playing guitar and professing his love, saying that he still loves her, that he was always mistaken and didn't want to ignore her, and promises to never be violent with her again. He asks her to think of the past and give him one more chance. The most faithful girl in China stares at him, half confused. Our protagonist arrives, asking what is happening here, but the cruelest woman strikes him once again. She slaps the roses out of his hand and runs away. Liang keeps saying she doesn't need to flee, since her one true love is right there. She arrives and asks if his name is Chun Yuan, saying she has finally found him and begs him to add her. The guys go wild, wondering why she ran to another man. Liang says that she has disappointed him. Our protagonist speaks to him about his frustrated face and asks if the situation was too hard to understand. Liang asks if he doesn't want to shut the coffin lid now. Chun Yuan says he's always been jealous of his good looks and athletic gifts, and he always captured the hearts of women. But now that he is finally lost, he is panicking. He says the mind obsessed with the desire to win made him ignore his own girlfriend's feelings. He is the one who pushed her away, piece by piece, and now he is on the ground playing the poor victim. The guy agrees he's right and that it is his fault. Several girls are watching, wondering what is going on. They say if he was aggressive, he does not deserve any dignity, and if he treated her poorly, there is nothing left to solve. The girl stares at our protagonist, saying that he understands her. With that, her favorability now reaches 91, even though Chun Yuan did absolutely nothing. He didn't give her cash, just glanced at the girl a few times, and she loved it. The president's friend says she must find a way to talk to Kiki, to tell her that she's not the only one with our hero. She opens the door, asking if she has any issues, and saying that Chun Yuan is cheating on her, and that she should end everything because of it. Smash that like button on the video to help us create more incredible sagas for our viewers.